Black African power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie. Defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee. Man, y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing the house. And I come to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. Standing tall, standing strong. Hey, y'all know what it is, man. Bobby banging this bitch. What's good, family? Ha. Man, y'all see it. Did all human life come out of Africa? The conversation was really about the outer Africa theory and the howler monkey in Mesoamerica. If y'all been following the discourse, then y'all know what it is, man. We're going to play that debate for you tonight at 6 o'clock, man. Make sure you be there. Let y'all decide. I always feel like these conversations is important to have against the top-notch pseudos. It's real talk, man. All these conversations should be dipped in scientific literacy. The preface, beginning of the conversation, should be understood through the lenses of scientific literacy. Scientific literacy is a vaccine against the charlatans like Sanchez in our community. What's a charlatan? Confidence man, trick'emship personality, foolishship, lookership. They employ all these concepts to confuse you. Conversation mixer-upper never can adhere to a point, never will source it up. Sources will be all over the place, having nothing to do with nothing at all. If you've been following me, man, over the last 20 years or so, man, you've seen my growth and development, and I've seen your growth and development, and I appreciate everybody, man. We got to keep growing, man. We got to keep growing, and we got to understand who we are and what we are. So this is going down at 6 o'clock. Make sure y'all get on this. Let me post these debates in order. Let me give you what I think. Man, big up to everybody coming in the chat, man. You know I'm right here, man. I'll be going live right here, yo, on sa.neter Studios, man. Expect me to be on here. Big up to the opportunities, yo. We all don't have them. Take advantage of your opportunities. Appreciate being on the House of Consciousness Network. It's an institution in pseudoisms. Hell no. It's definitely an institution. And I make the point, the joke, the institution is pseudoisms. Really what I'm saying is it's an open mic policy. An open mic policy leans towards pseudoisms because it's the open mic policies. There's no qualifications needed. Hell, there's no qualifications needed to get behind the mic. There's no qualifications needed to talk about history. African American history, FBA history, African Americans, African American Foundational Black American History, or FBA Foundational Black American History, or ADOS, whatever the hell you feeling. There's actually no qualifications needed behind that. So I took that left and I say, goddamn, somebody got to bring some experts. So you know that's what I've been doing, man. My man, Brian says 50-50. 50-50 pseudoism, the 50-50 science. I think it's more 75-25. 75 pseudos and 25% science literacy in the application of that. Man, but big up to the guy who gave everybody a shot that sa.neter to actually speak. Hell, we didn't even know about pseudoisms until I kicked the damn door down. That there had to be a door to kick down. There had to be something in place for me to kick it down. And y'all seen it play out back in the day on 125th. The dude sa.neter made his damn self right outside. Met more people than you know. You'd be amazed at the amount of pictures. We need to do a show of all the people this man has met over the years, yo. And all the people he didn't put a mic in front of their face, man. I don't know where he get that damn idea from, but it was brilliant. Now, by the time the thing moved from 125th and the internet get jumping and YouTube get jumping, you know what I'm saying? That's when I died, man. So there's different communities at play. There's I call the Chitlin lecture series. You know, you got like people like Dr. Ben or John Jackson and them, James Smalls, Leonard Jeffries, and a host of other people. They were supposed to be bringing the academic side. They were supposed to have been challenging the quote unquote, colleges and universities type of thing, or making sure that accuracy in Black history was told, man. Thank you for that, bro. Get that typo out of there. I wanted to be like sa.neter. He always do the typo. Stop. Got it. Appreciate that love right there, man. It's the therapeutic value of each one, teach one, and each one helping each other out, man. Appreciate that, yo. All right. We'll change it. I hope it changes on YouTube. God, man, you can't be having that. Man. Okay. All right, we got it. We're in the game. I see you, Army man. What's good, man? We hit you with the super chat, the piece. We ain't looking for all the pieces. Just a small piece. Man, y'all make sure y'all hit that Cash App, man. Hit them super chats, man. So, point I was making is that there was the group trying to promote accuracy in academia, and then there was a group that was promoting consciousness. The consciousness group, and y'all can look at the red pills, the blue pills, the riches, the sa.neters, and all them was on 125th, where everything is mixed together, shaken up in a bag. I ain't have nothing to do with that outside. I just jumped in. The role I played was when the thing got on the internet, I made sure the thing got on YouTube. All right? No cap. And I was always on the other side. Because I was standing on the shoulders of John Jackson, Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, Hubert Harrison. Who was Hubert Harrison? He's the first person that was really outside in New York. You hear names like the Harlem History Club. You hear Reggie talk about that, where they was using academia to really fight the challenge. Some of y'all call it Afrocentricity, but it wasn't called that in those days that I'm talking about. But they was trying to, they was wanting to use academics and science. By the time it went YouTube, that's where the conscious community really starts to, there's a online conscious community and there's an outside conscious community. And so that's when I really jump in the fray. It's on that. And I was representing the Dr. Benz, the John Jackson, the Hubert Harrisons, the Chancellor Williams, those that was using academics. And none of them called themselves Afrocentric. So yeah, 5 o'clock, that's coming through. The next line, and I'm gonna do it in order. I believe it to be, let's see, right here. It would have to be this one. Nah, it's right here, my fault. March 28th, 7 o'clock. Was Jesus the fraud? Round 1. Round 2. Was Jesus a liar? You be looking for the thunderbolt to fall out the skies. Well, I get struck down. This gonna be interesting, man. All right, man. Morpheus and Apostle is going at it. Get your tickets, man. Stop playing. $20. The tickets actually help support the debate platforms, and this is where the levels actually happen. These debates before the pandemic was occurring in real life. We may get back to that again. Do a little both. Find something big enough. But make sure y'all tap in, man. All right? It's going to be 2 debate topics, right? You want to know who I'm going with? I'm going with Morpheus. But he's going to have a hard time dealing with a person that I believe has a degree in theology. Right? That, you know what they say, never punch with a puncher because you might get knocked out. So Morpheus got to watch out.
I'm going with Apostle.
You going with Apostle?
Yeah.
Apostle is the puncher in this particular thing. Because he's going in his book. Morpheus is going in his book and trying to tell him what it says. So that's going to be interesting right there. All right. The next up for debate would be, all right, April 4th. Do I got that right? Yep.
No, you don't. No.
Right here, this one?
No, that's tomorrow.
This tomorrow. Okay, here you go. King J versus Brother Ashe. We know King J is always halfway right when he come on the panel. And if you halfway right, you're always wrong. And then you got 27-year-old Ashe. Comes with a lot of vigor and his daggone chest sticking out. I hope he got on his bulletproof vest in this competition. Is there a such thing called African science? Man. King J, by the very nature of the topic, is supposed to win this. Brother Sincere, he young in this thing, and at this point, they actually think there's an African science, which actually doesn't make sense, because science is a human endeavor, and the foundations of it can be found in what they later on will call Africa. But this
got this. Y'all sleeping on what he got. He got some info. Y'all sleeping. Y'all gonna learn something tomorrow. I say got you.
No, I ain't gonna get beat up.
There is a such thing as African science, and y'all sleeping.
Yeah, I know it is. It's a such thing as pseudoscience too.
That's right.
African science. What polity? And this is gonna get into my lecture for the day. All right. The brother, Sincereluvdagod, FBA, had a young lady on his channel, and they was talking about Africans enslaving Africans. There's that word again, and it's the misplacement of that word. Okay, so this is tomorrow, and I guess the next one will be this. Would it be this one?
Say cool.
Say cool.
Man,
hold on.
I'm going with say cool on this one.
Yeah, say
but
cool.
It's going to be a little rough because Easy Band is not no pushover, bro. He's not a kitten. He knows his Bible as well.
Hold on. Well, they say I had Easy Bands came through the other day, yesterday, came through, slid through the community skeptics, and he was saying that's not going to be the title of it. Is that correct?
Nah, that's the title. We set the title live on the air.
He said it's not. He said, is the word of God contained in the Bible? Something wild like that. That's what he said.
Oh, he's changing it up. Even if he changes it up, it's still bad for him.
Yeah.
It's still bad.
He dove out of nowhere with that. Anyway, the fly ain't changed. Is the Bible the word of God?
Yo, we came up with the title live on the air, and he accepted the title, brother.
Well,
that's the only way I write the title out, once they accept it and agree.
Well, you need to revisit that. I'm telling you right now, there's an issue. Apollo, we have a problem. Anyway, that's going to be April 12th. Tickets, $20. Say cool. I've seen Say Cool's maceration. I'm saying it right. And I've seen his growth like none other. And so, yeah, man, he done been in there. We didn't tussle. We done been on the big stage. Go check that debate out. I don't think I put that up. I had to put that up. You had to run some of them old debates
already. I put that up.
I know you did, but I didn't get it. I'm gonna get it on the Community Skeptics, man. Yeah, good, great debate, great information, man. A lot of clarity. The brother definitely pushed me, right? But in his preparing for the debate helped his growth and development. And that's, I always pick topics where the community can actually grow. You may start off saying, the hell with what the hell is he talking about? And at the end of the debate, you're like, man, I put the question there for you, put the question mark there for you.
Right? I think who beat you?
No, they always said, remember, I'm the guy another one to debate, remember? Of course he didn't beat me. But that's for the people to choose, man. I'm educated. And that's where I went at. It's through the educational process and watch the maceration of people and how they grow and understand what I'm talking about. Because I'm never going to bring you something that the colleges and the universities from California all the way to Maine, all the way to Texas, the whole daggone, all the way to Africa, all the way to Australia, Canada. I'm going to bring you the standards that's in the world. We stand on the shoulders of the world, to which African Americans are integral part of science and technology, STEM. That's what we're doing. Last but not least, man,
right there.
Chief X versus God Energy. This is a $20 play right here, man. This gonna be. It's like one of them old subjects that hasn't necessarily been debated in a while, man. I like to see God Energy dive in this one, but he fresh. He young. You got the God Best right here. I'm gonna call him by his name, the God Best. You got him being in with a lot of KG veterans taking blows. He done debated people like Polite. He done debated people like Ishmael Law. I never debate him. He never make it to the contest. He either tap out or something crazy like that. I like he's showing up and don't show up. But it's gonna be a lot of work for the young boy to handle. But I'm saying it's going to be a tie because both of them are going to overwhoop. Guarantee you this: Chief X going to overwhoop the Arab side and the North African side, and I guarantee you, God Energy going to overwhoop. Yeah, I'm saying the Sub-Saharan African side. I promise you this. I'm already making a prediction. It's going to be a tie, but it's going to be an interesting conversation. From what I know, this is Chief X's first paid debate. This is God Energy's first debate on the House of Consciousness.
I'm going with God Energy on this one.
As much as I don't like Chief X, I can't stand him. Can't stand him, yo, because he has no scruples, right? He's dishonest. He will take a subject that you're having and he'll move it to your family out of nowhere. That's how you know he really lost, right? And that's just not right. But it is what it is, man. Ain't nothing but business at the end of the day. And yeah, man, Yep, God energy. I can't. They put out a pseudo file on me. They thought I was going to try to. I can't help because they got a file on the pseudo kills my name on it. They said I have been enabling the bomb squad. Say I didn't finish off like I should have early in the game, so I can't help you. So Chief X, don't say I help nobody because I'm not. It's not good for business.
Hey, Armin Rob McCarthy, thanks for asking, brother. I'm a little better, but not the same. I feel good. I'm good. So yes, you ready for the intro?
No, that's your intro, goddammit. That ain't mine.
Yeah, my intro, your intro. I got to make you a better song.
I don't want you to make nothing for me. I'm good.
No, you're not good, brother. You're not. Trust me, you're not good. Sorry. You need a better intro.
Sorry, and you know what? You say it every time. I'm not listening to you. You know what? It's the song, you know, one of my favorite. Oh, you put the wrong one in there, man. I don't need that. Huh? That's my joint. Wrong one. Wrong song. So.
Oh, that's the wrong. I was going to play your song.
I don't want you to play my song yet.
I want to hear it.
No, I'm gonna have it. I got a little presentation. I'm gonna play at the end of the presentation.
Okay.
Let's see what you got. Now, hold on, Saul. You know, out of your songs, my favorite song is "The Toughest Environment." Though.
I know that's one of mine too.
My favorite.
But you know, I like my music when I write stuff. I like to hear my writing, and you know, and listen good. It got you all up in there.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if that's the one.
Sauce up, yeah. Sauce up, lockdown. The HOK is the toughest. Don't be a pseudo, I build you up strong. Be the roughest. Yeah. Sauce up, lockdown. The HOK is the toughest. Yeah. Don't be a pseudo, I build you up strong. Be the roughest. I'm crossing every line, you pseudo-intellectual, wasting all my time. You got the rhetoric, the and the flashy tone. You're a king of static on a cardboard throne. You wanna be the best, you gotta be the best. No stumbling or mumbling, straight scholarship. Don't power trip, follow the script. Or you might get the hollow tip, solid grip. Or catch a beat down with my scholar's whip. Apostle and Cedric step to the podium. The pressure is burning like water on sodium. Why you blinded by easy bands that eyes can see? Say cool, wanna beat Jesus out of you to be free. The spirit is the architect, the only way to shine. Santa, the king of the message, transcending time. Ankh is the key to the life that's forbidden. That shape with the smoke, you better stay hidden. You talk about easy bands chasing juju shine, but now Paul is the one with the mastermind. Rock cool fool, standing in the light, skip the suntan shade. Don't come with no pseudo shit, we will put you on stage. Down. The HOK is the toughest. Don't be a pseudo, be strong, cause we the roughest. Sauce up, lockdown. The HOK is the toughest. Don't be a pseudo, be strong, cause we the roughest. Don't flip the script, stay true to the essence. Study the HOK roots, we school them like a lesson. No fake deep vibes, keep the vision crystal clear. Let's keep it pushing, brothers, show when we care. They whisper in the shadow, paralyzed by the name, afraid to feel the power, her cool lethal flame. She steps into the ring and the brothers lose their breath. A silence hits the pavement like a sudden quiet death. She's the emerald queen, watch her do her thing. The baddest in the ring, the baddest you ever seen. When our Paul steps in the ring, you shake and quiver. She always bring the heat cause she's clever. Sauce up, lockdown. The HOK in the don't be a pseudo, go up strong. Be the rough. Sauce up, lockdown. Sauce up, lockdown.
Yeah, you like that. I all your names.
Sauce up, lockdown. HOK is the toughest.
Yes,
don't be a pseudo, I build you up strong. Be the roughest.
No, you did that.
Sauce up, lockdown. The HOK is the toughest. Don't be a pseudo, I build you up strong. Be the roughest. I'm crossing every line. You pseudo-intellectual, wasting all my time. You got the rhetoric, the and the flashy tone. Lubricating static on the cardboard throne. You wanna be the best, you gotta be the best. No stumbling and mumbling, straight scholarship. Don't trip, follow the script, or you might get the hollow tip, solid grip, or catch a beat down with my scholars whip. Apostle and Cedric step to the podium. The pressure is burning like water on sodium. While you blinded by easy bands, the eyes can see. Say cool, wanna be Jesus out of you to be free. The spirit is the architect, the only way to shine. Said it, the king of the message transcending time. Hook is the key to the life that's forbidden. That say with the smoke, you better stay hidden. You talk about easy bands, chase until you shine. But now Paul is the one with the mastermind. Buy cool food, standing in the light, skip the suntan shade. Don't come with no pseudo shit, we will put you out straight. Lockdown, the HOK is the toughest. Don't be a pseudo, be strong, cause we the roughest. Sauce up, lockdown, the HOK is the toughest. Don't be a pseudo, be strong, cause we the roughest. Don't flip the script, stay true to the essence. Study the HOK roots in school, I'm like a lesson. No fake beat vibes, keep the vision crystal clear. Let's keep it pushing, Butler, show we care. They whisper in the shadows, paralyzed by the name. Afraid to feel her power, her cool eco flame. She steps into the ring and the brothers lose their breath. For silence is the pagan like a sudden fire to death. She's the emerald queen, watch her do a thing. The baddest in the ring, the baddest you ever seen. When I fall steps in the ring, you shake and quiver. She always braining weak cause she's clever. Sauce up, lockdown, the HOK is the toughest. Don't be a pseudo, build you up strong, be the roughest. Sauce up, lockdown, the HOK is the toughest. Don't be a pseudo, build you up strong, be the roughest.
There you have it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's all right.
it was long, but this shit was hard though.
No, I played it twice.
Oh,
I played two different versions, that's all.
I like the first version. It was hard.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
that. Yeah, that was banging.
Oh, yeah.
New York style. I like
So
that.
what you got coming up, man? What you got going in on?
Oh, I got I'm gonna play a clip from Sincereluvdagod FBA. A sister come on there and they mischaracterize. She talks about voodoo and how Africans casted a spell and how Africans enslaved Africans. I want to put some clarity on that topic, man. You know how we do, man.
Okay, go ahead, do your thing.
All right, man.
I'm gonna fall back.
All right, man. Appreciate that, man. Man, big up to sa.neter, man. Big up to the House of Consciousness, man, and the family of channels, man. Make sure y'all support that, man. We over here pseudo killing. That don't mean that we can't make mistakes, right? We know y'all always looking for the mistakes we make. But understand this. When we make a mistake and somebody finds out that we have made a mistake or overemphasize something that we may not should have, right? That's the space in which we learn. We have to get used to when we make mistakes and somebody calls it out and have accuracy in their call out supported by sound source material. It's okay. An expert still makes mistakes, but they will make less mistakes than a non-expert. Man, so let's get right into this, man. Let's do it. So, I want to talk about common sense for 1 second, right? Get this work right here, man. Donald Prothero. Those who want to be educated, you can get your Audible book or get your hard copy. I like mine hard, right? And I like the Audible. Listen to the Audible. When I find something interesting, I highlight it in the book, right? And so it talks about common sense, right? And you hear people saying the common sense science. It's the stupidest thing ever. Now watch this. Science, institutions, and common sense. Watch this. Common sense is that which tells us the world is flat. Let's talk about that for a minute. When you walk outside, one, you can look for miles, depending on where you're at, depending on where area you're at. And the earth literally appears flat. Another thing, you can't actually feel the earth moving, but it's moving 1,000 miles an hour. You say, what? Yeah, the size and shape of the earth is so large, right? That you can't even imagine how large the earth is. You have nothing to actually base your reality on when it comes to that. So common sense will tell you that one, it's not moving, right? Because we evolved in Earth's atmosphere to compensate for the movement of the earth. why you can't feel it. And the object is so large and relatively small in comparison to the damn sun. But the earth definitely seems flat using common sense. So when you hear a person say that common sense science, you know, the statement after that is going to be completely pseudo. You go. We don't use common sense in science. That which seems to be common. Science is counterintuitive. Look up the word counterintuitive. Common sense is the very antipodes of science. Say it again. Common sense is the very antipodes of science. Now watch this. This is Carl Sagan right here. He says, we're living in what Carl Sagan correctly termed a demon-haunted world. Okay?
Hey, I'm sorry, but I don't think you know how deep that was, what you just dropped, brother. I had to jump back in because I'm listening to you drop the common sense. And people would think because you said common sense, they think it's common to the world.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody feels the same way. But that was deep. I had to jump back in and say that to you, brother.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, see? Now watch this. Carl Sagan. Look him up. We're living in what Carl Sagan correctly termed a demon-haunted world. We have created a Star Wars civilization, but we have Paleolithic emotions, medieval institutions, and godlike technology. And that's dangerous. Let me make it simple for you. Our brains developed in the Stone Age, man. We've created space age technology, but our Stone Age brain does not match up. We believe in ghosts and goblins and gods flying all around us, the same way the Greeks and the Romans and the Egyptians did, the same way ancient West Africans did, because we believe everything. And so I dive in saying, ho, don't trust your beliefs. You say, what are you talking about? So I'll give you this one example and we'll move on to the lecture at hand. The lesson is in if you can understand this statement. A human will never make the mistake in calling another human a shadow. But a human will always make the mistake in calling a shadow a human. And if you can unravel that in your brain, you can catch what I'm always talking about. The science is counterintuitive. And your five senses, right, are not very good indicators of helping you with science. Remember, science does not grow and mature until humans develop technology that could either help our senses, like a telescope or a microscope, right? Or erase our senses altogether, or replace our senses altogether with that particular tool. An example, chicken. Chicken is one of the most dangerous foods you can eat because what? It carries salmonella. We call it salmonella poisoning, but you can't see it. Chicken on a counter and not properly handled or wiped up can kill you. You know how many people die off of salmonella poisoning? You know, more people die from food-borne or carried pathogens than they ever did in the history of vaccines. I'm gonna throw that one in for y'all. Yeah, but you eat chicken every day. Vegans, same thing, right? There are germs that can kill you. Vegetables, they have recalls all the time for spinach and stuff like that. People die from peanut allergy, right? They're actually allergic to peanuts. That's your immune system being overactive. It can kill you. Food can actually kill you, man. Far more times than vaccines ever have. So then we add on that humans are horrible for making those types of decisions. That's why you will cross the street with your baby. Some people will cross the street with their baby before they take a vaccine. And you think that you not vaccinating your baby and vaccinating yourself is going to make you and your child safer. But crossing the street is far more dangerous than taking the vaccine. All these things are counterintuitive. We wouldn't even understand them. Let me give this last example for y'all. We talk about Europeans and how they didn't wash, right? All the time. England, right? In the 1700s, 10 what was CE, okay? Talk about that. Well, that's not 10, maybe let's say 1000 CE, right? We look at these people. Why didn't these people take baths? Why did they smell such a way? They actually thought, they had figured out that when you take a hot bath, you can actually see your pores open. So they created a belief that when your pores open, then the disease will come in and get you sick. They didn't know why the Black Plague and those things happened. They didn't know. They didn't understand the theory of germs. They thought it was bad air. And the only way to stop that bad air from penetrating your body, right, was to what? Let the dirt fill in the pores and layer your clothes. They didn't change their clothes a lot. That's why they didn't take baths, because they felt like once they took them baths and opened up those pores, they would get sick. That was a belief of theirs. I'm saying this to say it's your beliefs that will get you in the end. What you believe can get you killed. What you know can actually save you. So let's get into the presentation. So we got this podcaster, FBA podcaster, right? And, he talked that trash all the time. Okay? And he got a sister on there, all right? Breek. Might be saying it wrong. Just get me for saying the name wrong. Let's hear her statements on Africa. So now, I just would like to make this point first before we get into it. All right? Point I want to make here is that you can never let ignorance rule your behavior and speech. Bad recipe. All right? It's about educating yourself in the subject matter before you open your mouth up about it. We do it all the time. We sound intelligent, but we misconstrue their ideas that are counterintuitive, and we think we know what we're talking about, and we don't. Now, I'm not sure what system she believes in, but based off what she's saying, I can pretty much think that she may be either a Christian or some kind of star child. You know what I'm saying? Like the cosmic God, or the Most High, something like that. But let's say her make these mistakes, right? About Africa. All right? Let me get here. I'm going to make sure make sure, because sometimes I get to going and all right, here we go. Let's go.
Immigrant group came here to capitalize off of was our free labor. Therefore, we are going to collect first from America.
Yes, indeed.
And there's no way possible that we can include the co-conspirators of our human trafficking with our claim as victims. How can you be a victim when you are a co-conspirator? And I'm speaking of the Africans right now.
Yep.
The Africans sold us. Then he mentioned, sorry, because I was paying attention. I write notes like a nerd, okay?
I love it.
Then he sat there and he talked about the spiritual ramifications of us separating ourselves.
Man. Co-conspirators. That's a point we might need to touch on. For you to conspire, we're going to conspire to rob a bank. That means we right there at the organization conspiring on and planning on how we are going to rob a bank. That wouldn't change with slavery and human trafficking. That wouldn't change, meaning you can't prove that the initial stages of the transcontinental slave trade, kidnapping, there's no African polities, city, states, nation, or clan or tribe in Europe conspiring to go to the continent to enslave anybody. Y'all get that? Okay. And not to mention it was already a bustling trade in what you would call slavery on the continent of Africa, just like it was on every continent. Is one of the oldest institutions on planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? But the education comes into understanding what the hell is the difference and is it a difference? What the hell are we talking about? The one word does not fit all. So no, there wasn't no conspiring. There was no planning. It was none of that. At least at first. Okay. Let's move forward in the conversation. She's going to get into the spirituality. She got a lot of heart on that. All right. A whole lot of heart. Meaning she is not afraid. Remember I talked about it earlier when I was reading that debate topic? And you start talking about Jesus lie, your eyebrow go up. You be like, man, is the lightning bolt gonna come? Remember the comment I read about we live in a ghost and goblin world, right? Yeah, like superstitious. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people stay believing because they be like, yo, my life is good to this point. Now you want me to stop believing? I don't know, yo. I know the stories sound fishy, but something may happen to me. But she got a lot of heart against African cosmology, African institution, right? Spiritual social system. So we already see how her brain has been colonized, right? That's colonization right there. Where you ain't afraid, right? To say something wild about an African social spiritual system, because that's all they all are. Let's continue. Let's go.
From Africans. Well, did the Africans give a fuck about the spiritual ramifications of them doing voodoo on us before they sold us to the white supremacists? No, they did not. They were the initial delineators. They delineated spiritually, physically, with their money, with everything they delineated from us. And in fact, they delineated us for in this life and the next life. With their voodoo ceremonies and rituals. So how the hell are we gonna I'm not gonna stand with somebody who legally does, because there was a report that just came out that Ghana is trying to ask for $100 million in reparations from the U.S. government. How the hell can you ask for reparations? And fuck about the spiritual rating nerd, okay? So Africans right now.
Yep.
The Africans sold us. Then he mentioned, sorry, because I was paying attention. I write notes like a nerd, okay?
I love it.
Then he sat there and he talked about the spiritual ramifications of us separating ourselves from Africans. Well, did the Africans give a fuck about the spiritual ramifications of them doing voodoo on us before they sold us to the white supremacists? No, they did not. They were the initial delineators. They delineated spiritually, physically, with their money, with everything they.
Man, the words coming out of Shorty mouth don't match the personality. Say it again. The words coming out her mouth does not match personality and how she shows up on camera. You would think she was far more intelligent. Watch this. I'm not calling her stupid. I'm saying you would think she would be far more intelligent on the things that she was saying out of her mouth before she said it. You would think somebody on that damn panel would correct her. But sincere to God, he got the sister all out there. He not offering no correction. You know we say this all the time. Never sit on the damn panel when somebody says something wild and don't offer up a daggone correction. Because then we got to clump them all in. And I got to blame Sincere because that's his platform. But I forgot, he ignorant as hell too. You know, we had a conversation with him, right? I'm still feeling like, man, you little scammy, because when you was on our platform, you got to say what you wanted to say. The conversation just elevated over your head, so you couldn't say what you wanted to say because you ain't have nothing to say. But when I came on your platform, you asked me a question, and as I was answering it, you couldn't handle the answer, and you put me off. We call that coward YouTube behavior, where you just put a person on. Start to make them look a little bad. So I'm going to blame you for letting the sister come on here and say some wild things out of her mouth. She has no fear in mischaracterizing what voodoo is and what it's not. So if we was to come to 2,500, the dictionary, right? There's a dictionary of gods. Where is it at, man? You know I done broke it out here on y'all before. Where the hell? I need to keep that right. You know what? I'm going to start putting it right there so I can just get right to it. Because at this point, I don't need to take 20 minutes to try to find the encyclopedia of gods. Because I wanted to look up the god voodoo. Because it's actually god voodoo. Right? Believes amongst the fond people, the deity. Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to find it. I know I got a clock in my head. I don't want to keep searching for too long, man, to slow down the process. Let me go off the top of the head. First of all, you can find it in the dictionary of 22,500 gods, right? And it's definitely a deity, but it's part of the farm people and their social cultural system. Okay, it's a belief system. It's a cultural system and a system that integrates medicine with it, dealing with plants, right? And nobody put no damn voodoo on nobody to delineate themselves. The first delineation occurred when Europeans came to Africa and enslaved different polities in Africa. I'll say this again for all y'all who just slow, for the FBA that's retarded a little bit. The first delineation occurred when Europeans plotted for resources, free resources, and manipulated their way in, because that's what they did. Because at first they came with guns a-blazing and got beat up. They got bludgeoned. I'm going to say this again. The Europeans didn't come in and conquer with technology. I used to say that early on in my career, but more studying revealed what really happened. These Europeans go on these river systems with these big sailboats, which then puts them at a disadvantage, and they run into these different polities within Africa that had a navy, for lack of a better word. War canoes that could carry 100 to 200 warriors with iron tips. Some of them had iron tips and poison tips on their spears and their bows and arrows. And nature played a role in it. Malaria, the mosquito. Mosquito is the most dangerous animal on planet Earth, or insect. It's the number one killer of human beings on Earth. Look it up, the mosquito. So they had no sickle cell, they had no protection from that. That certain fevers they was getting, they ran their ass about Africa. Not knowing the language, not being able to negotiate, trying to buffalo their way in, it did not work. The technology was not better. So they had to work their way in. the Africans. So they had to learn the ways of the people, and they worked their way in through trade over time. And then they started getting some of the slaves because the raiding failed. That's why they didn't do it, because they tried it and it failed. So they had to trade their way in, and then they started, getting different polities against each other, and that's how it actually worked. Okay. So that first delineation actually occurred with Europeans plotting in Europe before they even came to Africa. Slavery is the great delineator. You didn't know? Yeah, it separates you from your language. It separates you from your custom and your traditions. It separates you from your social, cultural systems. It separates you from your food source. Although some Africans did bring some seeds with them and planted crops based off of that, for the most part, we were separated from our indigenous attire, your clothes, your everything. So that's when the separation actually occurred, not because the African people put voodoo on them. That is ignorant and said subjects. I could argue that Jesus Christ was the great separator when they wrote the Papist Bulls. We've talked about the Papist Bulls. And they wrote, wherever we discover a land that does not have a Christian monarch, we can enslave their inhabitants and bring their lonely souls to Christ. Really? That's separation. Christ. Y'all see the title. This is the value of African American atheism. You can understand where we came from and how we got here. This is a mischaracterization and a misunderstanding of the damn subject matter. Religion is a social cultural system of beliefs, different values, marriage ceremonies, music, song, dance. We get separated from all of that. Our musical instruments, the way we buried, did all these things was challenged. Remember, it was illegal for you to practice your indigenous spirituality. You recognize that they learned early in the game, separate their ass. Do not bring the same polity and put them in one place, because they're going to organize and they're going to get you. Mix them in. This also proves the incorrect statement of the Africans enslaved to Africans, because a lot of times these different groups couldn't even speak each other's language at times. Had different customs, different traditions. These were different ethnic groups with different value systems, different cultural containers of ideas, man. This is the mistake that they always make, that they say Africans was one people. It's a damn lie. You don't do it to the Europeans. You don't do it to the Russians, the Brits, the French, the Romans. These are all different people, and they would kill each other. Crazy, but we don't get that. We get the one people. Then they slur out Pan-African. This is crazy. All of it is nonsense. So she's wrong and she's out of order, and we're here to correct it. They should not respond to this because it's ignorance. What they should say was, man, he was right. Let's fix that. But they're not going to do it. They're just not. So let's get to the presentation and get right to it here. Real quick, sharp to the point. We don't got to belabor the points, man. Then we're going to open up the lines and see where y'all at with it, man. And, I'm always open to talk about anything. Just don't get up here, wilding out, cussing and fussing. Don't do all that. Yeah, we don't want all that. Don't get up here cussing, that crazy, talking over each other, man, and wilding out. I can't do that. Please, let's not do that. Please. So I want y'all to understand. So understanding the nuance of pre-colonial and Atlantic slavery, y'all. This is what we're trying to get right here, man. All right. So as I talked about before, understanding, this complex question, man, is very, very important, man. And I talked about the different polities and diverse pre-colonial societies, man. all right? Forms of servitude vary, all right? Distinct from Atlantic racialization, man. So they racialized us. Remember I told you in the 1700s, before the 1700s, there were no people called white people. There were no people called black people. Y'all seem not to be able to understand at this time. It's crazy. That's not to say that people can't see the color of their skin and recognize that we see in color. All apes see in color, or primates, whatever the hell you want to say. They see in color. That's part of what makes you a primate. I'm going to use the soft landing spot for them to say primate. Pre-colonial Africa diversity and forms of servitude, man. So thousands of diverse societies, kingdoms, and ethnic groups existed. There was not a unified Africa like everybody keeps saying. There would be no need for Pan-Africans, right? If everything was already unified. Think about that. Its identity was tied to communities, not continental concept, man. That continental concept came in with the innovation of intercontinental ships, where Europeans circumnavigated Africa. Systems of dependency, servitude, often for prisoners of war, different greatly from the Atlantic chattel slavery. Y'all should educate yourself on that, because this is a Christian statement when they say the Africans and y'all God didn't stop y'all. Well, hell, y'all God didn't stop them. These systems were generally not based on race, often offered paths of integration. So you can integrate into other communities. Not a problem, not an issue. So the transatlantic shift, European demand, okay? The Atlantic slave trade dramatically expanded due to European demand for labor in American plantation economies, man, because they was getting a grip on the global economy. So the lives we live now was greatly affected by Europeans cornering the market. Free labor for 400 years. 12.5 million humans transported across the Atlantic, y'all. It's a lot of people. 16th, 19th century. Centuries of Atlantic slave trades peak. European demand, primarily driven of expansion and scale. You know, historians say that the phrase Africans enslaved Africans implies a complicated history. I'm going to say it again. Historians say that the phrase Africans enslaved Africans implies a complicated history. It makes Africans seem like one unified place, man. I talked about that. Instead of showing diverse cultures and political systems. This is the cusp of the conversation. Here's your source.
Smoking on pseudo all day long. Loud music all day long. Day long, day long, day long, day long. Smoking those pseudo all day long. Smoking those pseudo all day long. Smoking those pseudo all day long. It's hot, yeah, the fire lit. Whole block jump when the beat line hit. Smoking those pseudo all day long. Live music all day long. Live music day long. fire lit. Whole block jump when the beat flying. Smoking nose to the wall day long. Loud music all day long. Loud music all day long.
We smoking on pseudos all day long, man. You mischaracterize statements, derogatory information about our people in the Americas, right? And about continental Africans messing up the slave trade and all that. That's normally a Christian statement right there. A European Christian statement at that. Africans did not enslave Africans. It was different polities that resided on the continent of Africa. And I suggest you learn their damn names and kingdoms and recognize what the hell was going on before you run your mouth. Voodoo did not delineate us. It was definitely Christianity, European colonial powers that separated us by separating us and turning us out of our daggone culture. And that's what you call delineation. Stop being ignorant on the subject matter, man. And let's get this straight before y'all jump up here with the foolery. Before we go on, I want to reiterate this. It's said that I don't reiterate things again, right? So I'm gonna ask that question again. Did Africans enslave Africans, man? And we will conclude with a historical context. Pre-colonial Africans contained thousands of societies, y'all, and political systems. People identify kingdoms, ethnic groups, linguistic communities rather than continental identity. Can y'all get that straight? Linguistic communities rather than continental identities, ethnic groups, kingdoms. In many African societies, prisoners of war could become dependents on enslaved persons. These systems different significantly from the racialized plantational slavery developed in the Atlantic world. The Atlantic slave trade expanded dramatically due to Europeans' demand for labor in plantations. You had them sugar plantations in the Caribbean. Economies in the Americas. Approximately, I said it, 12.5 million Africans transported across the Atlantic. Many historians argue the phrase Africans enslaved Africans, it just simplifies historical realities because it treats Africa, y'all, as a single group rather than a continent of diverse societies, man. Selected academic sources: Lovejoy, Transformation in Slavery, History of Slavery in Africa; John Thornton, Africa and Africans Making an Atlantic World from 14 to 1800; Manning, Patrick, Slavery and African Life; David, The Rise of African Slavery in the Americas, y'all. I just gave y'all the sources. Let me put it up on the screen for y'all to go ahead and get the books for y'all to get that. It's terminology, man, that crisscrosses is half the death, man. There we go. That's your read material, man. Get on that, get them books in there, man. All right, get the historical context for it. Y'all screenshot that and keep it going. All right, let me drop the link, man. See where y'all at. This great conversation, man. Another point I'd like to make while we waiting. We gotta get up here, man. Let's take ourselves a damn Cash App break too, man. So link for that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop y'all. Oh, we got some super chats too. Appreciate that. Marvin Rose. Man, appreciate that love right there, man. Marvin Rose, man, appreciate that super chat, man. All right. If the Earth doesn't seem to move, how do you measure it moving? What experiments was used? I like that, to measure the Earth's moving. I like that. Oh wait, another theory. Well, you gotta learn what the theory is. That's important. All right, seriously important. And the study of the size and shape of the Earth is called geodesy. There you go. Look it up. Man, what's going on with you, brother? How you feeling, man? You on mute. All right, I'm Rob McCarthy. Before you jump in real fast, man, McCoy, I can hear you. Before you get in, man, let me take this little break right here, man. Make sure y'all support all the debates coming up, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Let's keep the whole thing moving and shaking. Y'all know how we like to do it right here, man. All right, we're gonna take this quick Cash App break, man. My Cash App is in there, man. All right. You think you're enjoying the content, right? Go ahead and hit that Cash App, man. Take this Cash App break for a minute, man.
Yeah. Look. Hey, Cash App. Baltimore. Yeah. Cash App, don't let it run you. Money fill the gas, but it never feel honey. Cash App, dreams get so fast. If you don't own your time, you just rent your past. Cash App, screens full of flex. Real life hit hard when the rent come next. Cash App, tool not God. Use it, don't lose it, keep your head on top. Lend a mill, lend a bill, lend a pay me now. Everybody yell, get it like a sacred house. Timeline full of blessed, but the stress still lurks. Same folks posting again, still drowning in hurt. Explosions of cash in the camera flash, but the lights cut off when you can't make it last. This ain't a trick, but it move like a spell. Type in the amount for that dopamine swell. Quick tap, quick send, quick high, quick drop. Then you back in the cold when the real don't stop. I done seen love turn transactional quick. Send some in the DM like that's all it is. Cash App, don't let it run you. Cat, don't let it run you. Cash App, don't let it run you. Don't. Hard work, yeah, I respect that. But rest ain't weakness, I protect that. Cause money earn me nothing if your soul get thin. If you're always up next, tell me eat when you win. They sellin' hustle like it's peace in the pack. But peace don't come from a green little stack. So send when you can, look out for your kin. But don't let the app decide how you.
Man, let's go, man. Look, that's the Cash App break, man. Show some love, yo. We like to at least get 5 of them, man, doing our discourse and our show, man. So what's going on with you? I'm Rob McCarthy. How would you like to add to the damn Discord, man? What's up, bro?
What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, here. Keeping it super solid. What it do, man?
No, quick question. When I was listening to you talking about the ships and things like that, are you saying that the European was the first group to go circumnavigate the globe as far as shipping is concerned, or are you saying that certain groups of Africans did it before them?
No, Africans didn't circumnavigate the globe. They had no reason to. You at least have a reason to do something. For what I know of, they had no reason for that. They navigated the river systems. They built some of the first civilizations based off of navigation of the river systems. So I said navigated Africa. I said circumnavigated Africa. I didn't get to the globe, but no, Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when I know y'all, some people discredit Edmund Van Sertima or things like that, but there are some. Well, I've heard some different things. I could be wrong. They could be, it could be wrong that they had some of the Indians saw black people coming on boats and said that they smelled like an alloy of gold and silver, like they had never seen them before. So if that's true, where did that group of dark people come from? And if it's not true, but I just, it's flabbergasting because I thought we did come around the world before European.
Nah. And so that was actually said to be in an account of Christopher Columbus, but actually Ivan Van Sertima got that wrong. You can't even find that. Matter of fact, I got the letters of Christopher Columbus somewhere right here. And actually, no, you can't find that. You got to be able to support it and collaborate that. And you actually can't. And that's okay, though. And that's why I'm here, because it's not actually a shot, right? We supported the mandate. The mandate is, if we know our history, then we'll help ourselves be better. If you know who you are, then you know where you at. If you know where you at, then you know where the hell where you're going, right?
Yeah.
You can't clutter that with misinformation, because then at that point, you ain't no better than the white people that you claim, you know what I'm saying, lying about your history. Both sides can't be lying about the history. So that's an inaccuracy. That is actually not a shot against Ivan Van Sertima, because he was He had a doctorate in anthropology. He just got that wrong. Remember I said experts will make mistakes. That was a mistake. His work, when we started reading in the community,
I'm on top of my car right there.
when we started reading that work in the community, it was already outdated.
All right, thank you.
So we was taking, let me say this again. Here's the reality of it. When we first read an Ivor Van Sertima book or a Dr. Ben's book, right? Or a Sheikh Andy Diab's book, right? What we should have said was, or Man, God, and Civilization, John Jackson book, right? You know what I mean? Dr. Ben's book, when we gave it to the youngsters, we say, look, bro, this material is out of date already. It was already out of date. If you got picked up the books in 2000, they was out of date by 1980. It was done. Meaning the material, the excavations, more reliable data had come into being. So it was out of date. And that's how we should start off. These are out of date works. That's okay. You know why? Because the people that read these works understood what out of date was to a certain varying degrees.
And I feel you on that. I feel you on the science is the science, you know what I'm saying? But do you think that kind of destroys a lot of hopes and destroys a lot of thoughts that a lot of people have had that our civilization was all over this world before the European got up out the caves, we were circumnavigating the world. You know what I mean? You know, I should hear that from my dad, and you know how high it is. So I'm just saying, you know, that gives a pride to the indigenous people, to the black folks. You know what I'm saying? And to hear people say that we never went around the world at all, that's kind of hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's true, I'm just saying. Do you agree that that's kind of dashes some dreams and qualities of some of the upcoming youth?
No, actually, it's going to help the youth. Right? It's going to help the youth. Simple as that. And you may ask it, why does it help the youth? Because the truth always going to help you, Joe. It's the misinformation that keeps us mired in democracy, let me say this again. It's the misinformation that keeps us steeped, right, in the muck and mire of misinformation. Okay? So the first caves was indigenous African people. I can go back to 160,000 years where you find your first shellfish eaters. This is at glacial stage 6. The world was in the grip of an ice age at 160,000 years ago. During this time period, there are no other humans on planet Earth. Okay? How do you know? Because when they dig down at 160,000 years in North America, there's no archaeological finds of humans. There's no human tools. There's no humans. If you go to Russia, if you go to Europe, right, there's no humans at 160,000 years. Hell, ain't no humans in Europe past 30,000. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go 40, 50,000, you don't find humans. But definitely not. Nowhere else in Africa at 160,000 years do you find humans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
And that strata. Okay? Dig down a little bit, South Africa, in the cave system, Pinnacle Point, where they survived off of grubs that you can dig out the ground, and they kind of understood the tide system. Okay, they sort of had like a understanding of I would say, rudimental lunar calendar system, because tides affect the oceans, and when you went to low tide, they could go get those shellfish, develop techniques to open up those shellfish and survive. Caves. So the earliest bones were found in caves. So you would live in a cave too, to get the hell out the way of the elements and with you. So no, Europeans was not the first in caves. That's part of our mythology and folklore.
Yeah, I got you. And when I was saying that, I believe the first humans, as we did emerge from those states. I think that I believe, and like I say, belief is strong, but from what I've heard, we emerged from that, stood up straight, lived life, became civilized before the white race did it. While we were civilized, had sewage systems and water systems and all those things before the European even thought about any cleanliness like that. So we were far more advanced than any European society. And to say that they circumnavigate the globe before we do kind of puts that to the back. And I remember what you said earlier, because I did see a study that talked about how Europeans did not take baths because it was really cold where they were. And that's why they were so stinky, because they did think that pores would open and dirt and germs would get in. So they stuffed herbs and things down into their shirts. You know what I'm saying? So they would smell like herbs, but their bodies were so rank that it was like it make you throw up just to be around them. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't used to that. And Queen Elizabeth was supposed to be considered one of the cleanest women in Europe because she only bathed once a month. You know what I'm saying? But so that's nasty compared to us. So that's all I wanted. You know, I appreciate the
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When those colonial powers go to Africa, guess what they find in Africa?
What's that?
They find soap. But they don't find intercontinental ships. You get it?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
They ain't had a wheel. Look, they didn't have a wheel, but they had soap. They had an understanding of inoculation, what is the precursor to vaccines. Think about that. They got the precursor called inoculation, right? Where you cut your skin and take the pus from a sick person infected with smallpox. They would infect a human that's not sick, right? Just a little bit. He would get sick for a couple days, and then we'd have immunity. That's essentially how vaccines work. From the patent, they had that. They had soap, but they ain't have intercontinental ships. Okay, so they didn't have a wheel, right? So,
you don't think they had the wheel either?
No, they didn't need the wheel. You know what?
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Huh?
That's actually a European. That's a European invention. But Egyptians didn't have a chariot. Hold on, Egyptians didn't have a chariot with the wheel.
I don't know. Like I'm saying, you know, to be civilized, you got to have a wheel, brother. You got to be able to carry things from one place to another. I believe that and rubber, because rubber is not found in Europe. As far as my studies, you know what I'm saying, to have rubber and a wheel to be able to have logistics in order to do and build great monuments, you got to have a wheel. They ain't drag shit everywhere.
You find you don't find the word wheel in indigenous African societies. You find it in the European societies first.
They might not call it a wheel, but they might have called it something else. But I believe that.
Why you thought they needed a wheel though? They lived for they in Africa 350,000 years without a wheel.
Because great Egypt, other places that great because of great monuments and structures, brother. You can't bring one thing from another place without some type of fulcrum and wheel system.
Not true. Easter Island and all that. They learned the system to kind of the drag stuff. They understood the principle of friction, bro.
Yeah, but they use wheels.
Nah, they take some logs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Spread this oil out and drag, which stop friction. The slide the stones.
Yeah, but it was more of a slide. It was more of a rounded stone. I mean, rounded logs that were round, and they put that weight on top of those round logs and moved it, and the logs turned as those weights moved across. That's a wheel.
That's not a wheel. That's a log.
That's a wheel, brother.
That's a log.
Now, for real though, when you think about it, use a bunch of round logs and put something on it.
Did I say they did that? I'm saying they drug the I used to have a physics magazine where they didn't have no logs on it. They just put, stopping that friction is essential and allowed the material to slide easily, bro. They ain't had no log.
So you think we did that for the Great Pyramids of Egypt? We think we drugged stuff on no friction.
Well, first of all, if you look at this book right here, this is called The Stones of the Pyramids. Mm-hmm. First of all, if you look at this map right here, the majority of the stones right here, it says it say drag ramps running from Khufu main quarry site towards the southwest East Pyramids, right? They actually built the daggone pyramids on the rocks they was using. I'm gonna say it again, yo. It makes sense. They sharp. They built the pyramids on the rocks they used. They quarry it right there. Now, when you get to the capstones and the outer casing, then they ship that in, and they got records of them shipping that in. Yeah, it's just education, man. So no, the wheel ain't as important as you make it. That's the point. I'm trying to get people to see we live in America. Yo, we grew up with the wheel. We can't imagine the world without the wheel. We can't imagine the world without a jet plane. Me and you, We can't imagine a world without a phone. We can imagine a world without a cell phone, though. We can imagine that because we lived in the world without a cell phone for a long time. We used to go to the corner, put a quarter in, and use the phone. These youngins, they were like, what?
Yeah, I got a youngin who we saw a payphone. He asked me what that was.
Right.
So it's amazing. But I think and I'll end with this. I think to take, the wheel is one of the most important inventions, I think, in mankind, period.
You
You know what I'm
sure?
saying? To give that to the European is
Hold on. Or is it soap? Hold on, watch this. Work with me. Is it soap? Is it the invention of the pot? The pots? That's the oldest industry is in Africa. Now you can put food, right, in these pots, right, or these bowls, these containers, and now the insects and the animals can't smell it, so you can preserve your food and you can move your food with you. Is that and soap and inoculation? Is that more important?
That's important, but I'm in mechanical.
Hold on, wait, listen to me.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you right now that soap and that damn quote unquote inoculation is more important than anything because we're in a race, we're in an arms race against bacteria and disease. And the more filth and dirt you got, the more trash you got, the more sicker you got, and you grass. So no, I would argue that soap and inoculation.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
In the wheel.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that, but I'm talking about mechanical inventions because we can chew gum and talk at the same time. We can have the best mechanical mind and the best medicine or medical mind as well, brother. It's just
herbs. Hold on. Herbs. They was renowned in herbs. Their religion was based off of herbs. It's called medicine. So now we got medicine, we got soap, we got inoculation. They got the will, they got filth, they got the black plagues and all that. We got ideas of masking up and social distancing. So I don't know. It's cool. I'd rather be in Africa and not getting super sick all day, every day. Walking around
me too.
Y'all can have a wheel as you roll through the shit in the streets. Let me stop.
I got you. I appreciate it.
Look, check this out. Y'all won. Y'all got me. Because you actually, I find it amazing, Amara, that you actually understood that they should put the herbs in their clothes, right? Put the herbs in the flooring and stuff like that. They used to stick with their animals, the pigs and stuff would be in the same thing in the wintertime, right? Because it helped keep them warm, right? But they had a belief. Let's talk about the Mongols. The Mongols thought that the water was pure and should not be bathed. You should not get in water because it's pure. So they ain't even take baths. How about them? See, we don't talk about these different things that occurred because it's based off their belief system, bro. It's not based off of knowing. So somewhere along the line, those indigenous Africans kind of understood how important soap was and cleaning their bodies was, as opposed to developing a shipping industry that could go around the world, bro. So I mean, hey, I'm gonna take the soap. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna take the soap.
And the only reason I say that is because the astrology that I believe that we were head over heels with, in knowledge of astronomy and knowing how to navigate. I don't think the European knew how to navigate with the stars like Africans did. That to me, it shows me that we had to have a navigation history before any human because we knew the stars. We knew when the tide was going to be high, when it was going to be low, to go out, which direction we were going, the Sirius star and all those things. That's our knowledge, brother. And so to say we never went nowhere with it, it's just kind of like, I don't know. But I appreciate the dialogue. I'll let somebody else get up.
All right. Now, they didn't invent proto-astronomy first. You find the oldest such thing as not the playa. Yeah, that's in Africa. That's in not the playa. Yeah. Appreciate you coming through, though, bro.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate it, bro.
Humans are very innovative, and you can't have every goddamn thing.
I got
give me the caves, give me the soap, and give me violation or inoculation. I'll take that over, and give me the industry of creating wares. All right, that's those the pots. I'll take those over the ship that can be on the ocean and circumnavigating Africa and a damn wheel. Remember, the wheel was brought in by the Hyksos or the Hittites. I believe it to be the Hyksos brought the wheel and they brought the chariot in, right? And the Egyptians took it like all humans do. They modified it, meaning they put shock absorbers on it, okay? They made it so a person can drive it and shoot from the back. The Hyksos chariots, you couldn't shoot from the back. It's too bumpy. So they modified it, put some armor around it, right? And now they designed a whole new design. So they innovated it the same way the Chinese did with the mouse. Remember, they took the IBM mouse and used it. They just thrown that away. So that's what humans do, man. Okay? So being secluded is the worst thing a human can do to itself. When you understand your real history and you go see the world changed, yo. The world's different. See, I could see a slave saying, yo, the white man is the devil. My wife just got pregnant and then you just sold her off, yo. I'm in a house, you take her out my bedroom and take it, you the devil. I get it. Right? It's the view they had. But to sit here and think that type of thing is going on and even match your thing up with what those slaves went through is wild. So we just got to open up our world, people. Once you know your history, you're comfortable in seeing the rest of the world. A lot of things we talk about, yo, we're very, very limited in understanding because we live in these little small boxes. But I appreciate you stopping through, man.
Appreciate it, brother.
Great conversation. You know me, man. I'm sourced up. So if you need me to do a show on that, on those different items, that's what I like to do.
Yeah, that's what's up. I appreciate it, brother.
Man, appreciate your unwavering support too, bro.
Oh, no problem.
All right, man. Peace. All right, so we yeah, it was too, you don't say too bumpy, laugh aloud, crazy info. No, that's the truth. Those chariots the Hyksos had, they couldn't shoot from the back of them. They couldn't shoot because you gotta be able to aim. You know you gotta be able to aim and you gotta stay right. You can't be do. You ain't who you gonna shoot and hit? Nobody. Right, man. We just gotta get it right. Get it right, man. We over here cooking with hot grease, man. All right, we got about an hour and 29 minutes in, man. All right, y'all know that debate is coming up tonight. Y'all gonna be able to see it for yourself, man. All right, y'all gonna be able to see it for yourself. Okay, gonna be able to see it for you. Judge for your damn self. All right, that's all I'm saying. I don't know why he got me in. You got me in the crazy as hell, man. I'll be that wild. I don't think so. I don't believe it at all. Knock it off, sa.neter. What's going on? Sometimes you know, man, what's on your mind, bro?
What's going on, baby?
You know it. Sitting here chilling.
My man in the chat, you just read his thing. That's what I was trying to I told him to get on the panel. He talking about like you know, giving misinformation. These cats kill me talking, but they won't jump on here and challenge whatever you're saying. Right here is he said, because I said thumb up the video, he said bad thumb up bad info, bro, you tripping. So if you think it's bad, why don't he hop up on the panel? King Grunks or whoever you is. Come on, man. I mean, we ain't no adversaries here. Ankh is a qualified scholar, man. He does his work. He does his due diligence. So if you got something to say, come on up here and let challenge the information. If it's bad info. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a qualified scholar at all. What I would call myself is a person that practices scientific literacy and understand what real scholarship is. I can get us to it. You get it, Suntan? Just like you can get it. You got the same tools I got. You get it? Like I'm no more sharper than you. It might seem like it, but the truth is, yo, we operating from the same.
But let me say this though, huh? You can dive and do deeper, more studies than me, what would make you more extended in information than I am. That's all I'm saying, man. They don't realize you've been doing this for years.
Yeah, they don't realize
it. It ain't like you just started talking this. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
And then, and another thing is, you want to be reckoned with because the information is challengeable, and you tell them to challenge it. And if then you can accept if you're wrong, because man, you done went back a few times. So my point is this, and only getting on the guy in the chat because he won't get up here and stand up.
I'm scared. He's scared.
That's all I'm saying, man, because I don't know him. You know, I ain't got nothing against him. He adversary. But if he can get up here and challenge, then I might learn something.
Yeah, you might. You
Right?
might learn.
If he's saying you got bad info, tell us why it's bad info, because I'm only here to learn.
Yeah, I got bad info because he afraid, because he think that the Africans did everything and we popped up everywhere all over the earth. As soon as he opened his mouth, I'm gonna know where the deficiency is.
And I want to say this too, Uncle, about that video, that young black chick, you know, and like I said, I have nothing against nobody, man. We're not adversaries, but she was completely, you know, discouraging by saying that we was, you know, a part of the selling of our own people, when they don't understand that before the European came, it was tribal wars and they was taking each other as hostages and captives.
Yeah,
and
we already had already.
They already had it. And then when the Europeans came with the guns and so forth, then they somehow, some of the bigger tribes saved themselves. And when I say this, they say that, and I'm gonna say it like it is. They saved themselves from the guns, and because they was overpowered, so they instead of making war with these guys, they was here. Here goes some slaves. Here goes some people right here that we don't care too much about. Take them, and they wasn't getting money for it. They was getting their life spared for it because British and them. The British people was ruthless. You know, they came over with an agenda. You know, and that's what I've been studying. So when they say the black people was complicit, they was only doing it. You know, they wasn't just like, hey, we got some people. You want to sell our people to you? They didn't do it like that. They was coerced. The literature said they was more coerced into it, and they was doing it out of trying to save themselves.
Some of them was coerced. Some of them was tricked.
Yeah.
Some of them fought against it. Some of them didn't. Some of them, you know, fight to get weapons to fight against their enemies.
Yeah,
it ran the whole thing. Some of them, well, first of all, they didn't even have prison systems. I think that's a central point to kind of, if you can get that right, no prison system. So if I'm fighting a war over land or whatever and resources, because that's what empires do.
That's all they do.
And I take prisoners of war. What you want me to do with them? Well, I got a surplus of prisoners of war, right? And I sell them to the Europeans.
Right.
Right? I don't understand their system. I didn't know that they was keeping I didn't know they was going to have breeding farms. I didn't know all that. I didn't know you was taking me all the way to across the world. I didn't know about across the world. I understood my world.
Right.
I didn't know that. And I'm saying at first, eventually, they would get familiar with that because like people would actually travel. These African kings would send kids to Europe. So then they would know that. But that's a different we can have a whole conversation, man. We don't got to be wild. We can just tell the truth.
Yeah.
Truth is stranger than fiction anyway.
Because if I'm wrong, if I misinterpret anything that I'm saying right now, come up here and tell me about it. Because I can read, I can comprehend, right? So that's the literature that I read, that they just wasn't, come on, we got y'all, we gonna sell this to you for this. No, they was doing that to empower themselves because, like I said, before the Europeans got there, they had slaves. That's what tribes did back in Africa. They fought against each other, and then they kept slave, but they was indentured. They wasn't treating them like chattel slavery.
No, because it was different.
It was different.
They had slave markets. They did, but it's a different thing. So you got people that, you know, like right now, don't nobody gonna pay their debt. You can just file bankruptcy. They ain't know about that. They was like, you owe money. So you in servitude. Also, you have people that committed crimes.
That's what.
So what you want to do with the criminals?
Right.
Right? You're going to remove them from society. You're going to put them in servitude.
Right.
You're going to sell them. You're going to do whatever you're going to do. Then you have prisoners of war. What you going to do with that? So there is no penal system. So what you think they should do? Right. So, man, come on, man. They navigated their world. Don't mix the two worlds up.
Right. You can't.
That's confusion. You can't.
But that's the problem with that's the problem with the today Black Americans. They mixing up two worlds. They mixing up how we think and how we live to what they was doing back there.
Yep, and you mess it up completely, yo. And that's all I've been arguing against, man. Every mixing it up.
I mean,
Cage.
because the sister, she was strong in her, you know, attitude and all that, but she was wrong.
100% wrong.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when she was cussing and she furious about it, and you got a real problem when somebody is really think they're right and they're wrong.
Yeah, oh goodness, man. You know, that just weighed me out.
Because they're gonna keep fighting you, man. And then they're gonna get some they're gonna get some gullible people to you always got that a bunch of gullible people who gonna believe just what you say. That always happens, man.
It always happens, bro. I'm like,
yeah. So, you know, like I said, I don't have nothing against nobody. And if people got something different they want to say, or if they want to come challenge the info, come on with it.
Yeah, come on with it. Because I'm saying we get the sources, and you know, I always say a pseudo always dies at their source. Right? We didn't negotiate it and understand ChatGPT can say something, then you got to ask it for a source, and then it start daydreaming on you. Where's the page at? So you got to get the source and read from it. So ChatGPT is a good place. Is another good starting place.
It's a good starting place.
Encyclopedia, the Wikipedia, Wikipedia, however you want to say it, is an encyclopedia. It's just a new version of an encyclopedia. Right? I like Wikipedia better than ChatGPT, because ChatGPT, if you don't have no understanding of a subject, yo, it's gonna give you all kind of wild answers at times.
Right.
You have since I have a little education on certain things, I can use ChatGPT to navigate. Then I say, well, how come when I get this source and read it, I don't find what you're saying? I don't see it in that book. You say, yeah, you're right. But if you don't challenge your ChatGPT, it's like having a conversation with yourself with ChatGPT. Wikipedia, you can go right to the source and get it, and it's going to bear out, and you read the source. So, people think they're doing something, but they're not. It's
going to move you further because, like I said, I'm going to say this right here. Most of it, Ankh, is commentary, right? Unless you got a source, especially if it's peer-reviewed, then that's something that you can lean on because only more than one person agree, right? On the commentary. So, ChatGPT commentary is verbal, so you know, and it's only thinking all the information that was put in it. So you got Wikipedia give you a point to start at, and you can go from there.
You just go from there, yo.
That's all I'm saying. What's up, Dizali? You muted, bro.
What up, Suntan? What up, big brother Ankh? What happening, folk?
So in your mind,
I'm
waiting for your next video to drop.
I just be playing, but check it out, man. Another beautiful class that you just gave us, though. You know, as always, we have some people who won't embrace it, and that's what I want to bring up to you. What do you think about, like, because I've come to this conclusion that there's a lot of our people who reject information because we try and treat history as if it is a competition. You know,
what do you mean? How you mean that?
Like it's a competition. It's like that old clip song, "Me Too." You know, where if we heard that the Asians did something, oh, we did it too. If we heard that the Europeans did something, oh, we did it too.
Yeah.
Want to treat it like a competition. Right. Instead of saying that we did it too, we are obsessed with saying that we did it first.
Yeah.
And I found that I was able to step my knowledge game up and my understanding up when I stopped trying to treat history like a darn competition. You know, history is just history. If we did it, we did it. If we didn't do it, if we weren't able to do it, we didn't have a need to, or our science wasn't ready for it. It's not a competition, right? Right on.
It actually ain't.
It's about
survival. It's about survival.
Yeah. You know, and just like when Armin Ra McCarthy came on and said that there are some people whose pride and ego will be hurt if they find out that Black people did not circumnavigate the darn globe. Why? We didn't have a need to. We still had a big ass continent that we had to finish, circumnavigating. We didn't.
Yeah, you gotta get on that. You gotta get that together first.
Yeah, man. But
You gotta get your environment straight. You had plenty of environment in Africa, bro. Like forests, rainforests, land, animals. I mean, shoot. At that point, yo, you kind of busy, yo.
exactly. People do stuff out of need, necessity. Europeans needed to do what they did. But yeah, man, people, they fight against what you say when they can plainly see that people who have embraced science, and it's not just white people who have embraced science, Asian people, Indian people, many black people.
Right.
I challenge.
No, go ahead. Go. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead. Challenge what? Go for it.
I just want to challenge them this. Find me that civilization, that nation that is a world power that has not embraced science. That is, a world power from their, Yahweh Shah, from their chakras, from whatever else. Find me that nation, because if they can find me that nation that is a world power from whatever belief system that these people want them to not have, I will gladly join that damn nation. But as of right now, from what I can see, only nations that have embraced and understand science can sit at the world table of being a darn world power. But that's what I want to challenge them to.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well,
that makes sense.
That fear, there's a lot of fear. When you're in that chatty, you be chatty patty, just chatty, chat. And when it's time to get up here, right, then that well-organized lie that you can get off in the chat fall apart. Because I'm gonna make you organize that. I want to see some sources that support what you're saying. Right? Wow. And like I said, I'd rather have some damn soap than a intercontinental ship. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, God dang, I get a choice. Give me the inoculation. Give me the understanding of social distancing. Give me that. Give me a cave.
What Dazali was saying makes sense in this kind of context. Over in Africa, all the resources and things was there. They really didn't have to try to circumvent the globe. That wasn't what they was about. They was about culture and just living. And and see, watch this here. Europeans had to circumvent the globe because it got cold over there and they wasn't able to eat. What was you eating when it get real cold? Because wasn't nothing growing out the ground. So you had to go somewhere else to see if you can, go live a little bit better somewhere else. You had to go and see what else is out here besides this frozen ground. You understand what I'm saying? Because right now, this day 2026, I done seen documentary. Right now, it's not that cold over here in America, but it's freezing over in Serbia and all those European places. I'm talking about like they got jails that don't even have heat. So when they even, hey, Uncle, tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. Mm-hmm. They call black people and pygmies and all that the first cannibals, when in fact they was over in Europe because it got cold. They didn't have no food. And when somebody died, they ate them, and they was eating people. They was the first cannibals over in Europe. I read that kind of literature as well. I had to get some sources for it because I wasn't trying to make it source worthy when I was reading it. This stuff I read across. Mm-hmm. But all I'm saying is they whitewashed it and made it like black Africans ate each other, when in fact it was the European with doing the pygmy. Doing the cannibalism. So, like Dazali said, the Africans didn't really have to circumvent. They wasn't. They could have, but I'm just saying. So what? They didn't circumvent the globe. They had everything in Africa, food growing every day. They had meat. They had everything. But in Europe, they did not. What you think about that, D?
Nah, they had stuff. I don't. First of all, Europeans didn't live on the ice. Eskimos live on the ice.
No. When I say not the ice, I mean in a cold environment.
They ain't live in the cold all day long. They ain't live in the North Pole where it's cold all the time.
No, not that kind of cold. Because I'm saying when they had seasonal, they had a time in the summer, you know, when seasons change to grow. But in the wintertime, it was really, really bad. It stayed more colder than it stayed.
Santan, you ain't gonna cut me off. You're gonna let me finish my daggone point. Let me finish my point.
Yeah,
Native Americans, Native Americans lived in the winter. Right now, if you're in America, you go through the winter. If you're in New York, in Buffalo, it get cold.
Right.
They had them on the plains. It got cold. You had to learn at certain ridges. Watch this. These Native Americans navigated the cold. They would set their housing at a certain point near the ridge where it'd be 2 to 3 degrees warmer. That's the difference between living and dying. Europeans navigated their environment like all humans do. I would argue that extreme cold is just as wild as extreme heat. We forget that. I'm going to say this again. Extreme cold is just as wild as extreme heat. You know how many people die per year of heat exhaustion? All right. So now humans are flexible in their environment. So yes, they navigate the cold spells when it's cold. They know what to do. They have their food sources, food stores, right? They learn how to plant. You know what I'm saying? They do different things. Same in Africa, right? They learn how to use grinding stones and sickles to cut down the variety of grains that's growing. Why I gotta farm something if it's growing? I can just cultivate the plants and store them in the pots I got. So now I don't buy into they had to come out the cold. No, yo, they was always fighting a lot of wars because of the space. The space ain't like that. The amount of space. If you're in too close to proximity all the time, yo, you just get tired of people. And they fought wars. They fought a lot of wars. Not to say they didn't fight wars in Africa, but they definitely was fighting wars. And then the need for horses. The horses come from the steeples introduced into Africa in the Middle East. The chariots is in Mesopotamia. The four-wheel chariots drawn by certain pack animals. You don't find that in Egypt yet. You don't find it in Africa yet. There was no need for that. All right, so I don't want to say that they was you had, let's say this, you had people in Europe that were warlike, more warlike, and people in Europe that wasn't. You got people in Africa that was warlike, like the Bagongo tribe. I'm probably saying it wrong. They was wild warriors in Africa. Remember Queen Nzinga? She married one of them to fight against the colonial powers in other Africa. They was wild. They was warriors for real. And everybody was afraid of them. Africans and Europeans was afraid of them. Leave them alone. She was like, nah, I'm going to go marry one of them. See how serious Shorty was? So yeah, that warrior mentality is at the oldest war you can find in Sudan on planet Earth. Right? That's in Sudan. Okay. So I think the point I want to make here is that humans adapt to their environment no matter what the color of their skin is, no matter where it's at. Cold is on the colder parts of the planet and humans will live there. Not extreme cold though. Right? Like the North Pole is like you're not living there. But then again, you had an African navigate North Pole. Christopher Addicks. Am I saying his name right?
Right. Yeah, you are.
He's an explorer, right? And an North Pole serious guy. So, yeah, I don't know if they ran out of this and ran out of that, man. They just, I don't know. They just did their thing. They did the thing the way they did their thing. But Africa had a lot of resources, a lot of things, and whereas though but look at the proximity though, right? Europe was in close proximity to a lot of areas, right? Whereas on West Africa, there's sort of like a kind of like a watch this. Here you go. There's an isolation in West and Central Africa, right? From a lot of different tribes that have a lot of different cultures. So in that Middle East area, which is what the area of confluence, right? You got people that come in from the Hittites. You got Hittites. You got Middle Eastern peoples. You got African peoples. They converge in that area. That's why Egypt has such an advantage, because it's always an advantage not to be isolated. Where in West Africa, you're more isolated with more people that's more on the same trajectory as you. You get it? So you ain't coming at nobody with a war chariot in West Africa. So they ain't got to look at, oh, that's something different. Oh, shit. If you're in Northeast Africa, you saying, "Oh shit, they got a war chariot. What is this? I need to take that and be modified." Okay. In West Africa, we got the basically we're on the same. Okay, I see you invented that. I'm gonna do that. It's different. So that remember, diversity rules the day in the world.
Are you keep on with us?
Understand that. That's real.
Yeah, and real quick, just looking through the chat, someone not having a need to do something does not mean that they lack the intelligence to darn do it necessarily. They just didn't have a need to.
Look, I gotta get out of here, man. I gotta close this, man. I got an event I gotta jump into, man. Appreciate everybody coming through, man. Catch that debate tonight, man, because it's going down.
What channel is that? What they're gonna be on, sa.neter?
It's gonna be on sa.neter.
Oh, okay, brother Sanchez. You got him again,
Yeah, no, y'all just gonna watch it. It's a rewatch, so y'all can just.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are some teachable moments too.
Yeah. All right, man. We out of here, man. Peace.
God killer, we make those ring bass from the cannons. Use me, NW Cole, clear vision, hilltop roofs, no gimmicks. Montgomery, shift the tempo, race this turn. Info heavy, show sources, don't chit chat, no proof, fall back. Quick, Rogers Ave, where I'm at, Nova Pequee, stay intact. Park Heights, facts ready, Liberty Heights, no ferry. You're playing weak, fall fast. Peer review, hold that. Methods first, no myth, replicate, then it's legit. God killer, we make those ring, bass in the cannons, his ring. You promote